welcome back to the show. Unless this is your first time here, I'm the Northwest Fisherman Chris, and today we're going to be unboxing some stuff that I picked up from 6th Sense. A lot of the stuff in this box is new within the last month or two. So I've got a tournament coming up this weekend, and this is just some stuff that I wanted to pick up. But of course, like always, everyone's going to ask you if you could please like, comment, or subscribe, or I guess do none of those, whatever suits your boat. But if you enjoy this content, help me out a little bit, okay? Anyway, let's get this thing cracked open and see what I got here. So right off the bat here, you'll notice that I got two swim baits, super interesting, two traces. Let's go ahead and talk about this guy first. This is the 6-inch trace. This has been out for a little while. This is that bone reactor color that has been out for a while. This isn't new by any means. But I've had luck with my other bone colored baits, and I finally decided to just go ahead and grab the trace in the bone color. As far as the paint job goes, there's not, well, it's bone. So it's bone colored. I mean, I mean, it's got a little bit of shadowing around the eye, and of course the spot, and then it's got some color here on the tail, but bone is bone. I mean, it looks really nice. As far as the hardware goes, it's got these super big, nice, super sticky EWG style black nickel treble hooks that are fantastic. I love the trace a whole bunch. And the actual little tail portion here, it is replaceable, and it comes with extra tails, which is awesome. This has just been one of those colors on one of those baits because I really like the trace, and I've had luck on a lot of my bone lures. So I was like, I'll finally just get it. This thing's pretty cool, multi-jointed, 6 inches long. These things swim amazingly, and you can put a lot of action into them with your reel. Let's go ahead and give it a rattle listen, because it does have a rattle. Faint muted rattle in there, and that's not the body moving around. There is a gentle rattle up here in the front, and the one I did get is the slow sink, which is nice because all of the traces, well, all of the big swim baits, they do say slow sink or fast sink or float right on the bottom. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I've been wanting to get this for a little while. It's been sitting in my cart just staring at me. Now the other thing, this other trace here, this guy's really neat. So this is actually all new. This is their new 5-inch trace. Okay? Same idea, same multi-jointed body. I got this, and what color is this? Yeah, it's the 4K bluegill. I've had a lot of luck with this color, especially on like my other cranks and stuff like that. And I also have this in a regular diving 106 Provoke, but the color on this is outstanding. Like, this is a bluegill through and through. Just the color on it's fantastic, and it still has those super sticky EWG style treble hooks, heavy duty hardware. The tail on it, I will note, is not the same tail that's on the bigger trace. It's more solid versus the super flexible tail that's on the 6-inch trace. Okay. Other than that, they're basically completely identical, just one's smaller than the other. But this paint job, guys, like, this is a production color. This isn't a custom, anything like that. You go buy one of these, I think it was $24 right now. If this performs just like that, this is well worth the $24. I mean, I would have probably still even paid like $35 for this. That's just how much faith I have in the trace. Like, the trace might be my favorite, one of my favorite hard body swim baits. Well, it is one of my favorites. I should say it might be my favorite. But yeah, I was super excited when they were announcing this because this will allow me to put a full size trace on, say, well, on my swim bait rod. But this is small enough and light enough, I can throw this on medium heavy fast without problems. Because I think this is only, what is this? Does it say? Yeah, it's only an ounce. That's it. The full size trace, I think this guy's almost 2 ounces. So it's a it's a pretty substantial difference. So hopefully this works about as good as this, because this is going to be awesome for spawn. This is going to be really, really good, because while this is great and everything, and I love the trace, even the slow sinks, which both of these are, sink just a hair too fast to be fished quite that shallow in my area. But I'm ecstatic about this. This is going to be one of those baits that I think I'm going to really, really love. Okay, so moving on. So if you've never ordered like just like a shipment from 6 Sense, one of the really cool things I think it's really neat that they do this. So when you place an order, they go ahead and just put it in a bag. I have so many of these bags between the 6-sack and just other like orders that I make. These bags are great for just holding random stuff. I keep all of my GoPro stuff in one of these bags when it's not my case. Or even like I'll put snacks in here. It's great. These bags are awesome. Okay. So first up is this Provoke 106 Deep Diver. The color on this one is really, really cool. Let me get this guy out here. Okay. So the color on this is called Violent Panda. Okay. This thing's wicked. So this dives, I believe it's 6 to 12 feet or 4 to 12. Anyway, this thing goes down to 12 feet, which is filling a category for jerk baits that I need. But it's got this super awesome, like kind of a root beer colored, kind of violet color on its back with a blue head. And going down the side, it quickly changes to a metallic pinkish purple. And you get down farther in the body, and it's just silver. The gold head remains, and you get finally to the belly, and it's just silver pearl paint. I think this is going to be absolutely fantastic, because it's just in that color and that size category, and just a little bit more depth. Let's give this rattle a listen. Dude, this sounds so good. Of course, it's got EWG style treble hooks, which I really don't know why more companies don't just give you the EWG style treble hooks. Like, it's the hookup ratio on it. Like, I have quite a few Vision 110s. When I say quite a few, I think I have like 4 or 5. I've done the hook upgrades for them, but it kind of drives me insane that a $25 jerkbait I have to upgrade the hooks on. That annoys me a little bit. While you can get the Provoke 106 and it's already got EWG style treble hooks. And if I remember correctly, I can't remember if these are Gamakatsu or if these are Mustad. I think they're Mustad KVDs. I think that's what they are, because I actually emailed 6 Sense and they told me. I just got to find the email. But this is going to be phenomenal. Set that down right there. Put that in the box. Okay, let's grab the other jerkbait. So this is another Provoke 106. This one's a slow sinking guy, so it's not going to suspend like the first one. And once again, that's at 4K bluegill. Yep, 4K bluegill. 5/8 of an ounce. The normal 106, I believe, is half of an ounce. But we're back in that awesome paint job. Just like on the trace that I opened earlier. Like, I really, really love this color scheme. Just really works for me. And the belly right here, they got it marked. Slow sink, so you know you don't actually accidentally pick it up and be like, oh, I don't know what this is. It's right there. I don't know if the camera's going to see. Slow sink. So, yeah, it's just like the first one, EW style trebles. That amazing paint scheme on the sides. Like, the camera really doesn't do this bait justice. It really, really doesn't. And that's... I've already got one of these in the regular suspending. I had to get it in the slow sink because I've got a couple areas where I want to drop it down into pockets and into, like, ravines where tree roots used to be in this swampy area that I fish in. So we'll see how this goes. I'm really excited about this bait. And then I think this is the last hard bait that I got. So this is the flat F4 Finesse. This guy's a ½ ounce, dives 4 to 6 feet. It's a square bill, but it's not just any square bill. It's got a computer motherboard lip. Why do I call it computer motherboard? I know what it's called, but I'm losing my mind a little bit. Circuit board. There we go. Wow. So I have the F4 Finesse. I got it in a 6-sack a couple months back, and I really, really liked it. But I wanted to get a flat-sided one because it's got a tighter wobble to it. And, well, I got it in that silly 4K bluegill that I really, really like. And even across the baits, like this color, this paint scheme, it's consistent, guys. Look at this. This is great. I don't have shad in my lakes, and not everybody makes trout colored baits, so this 4K bluegill, I don't know what it is about it, but it kills for me all year long. It just works great. And of course, this has those EWG style black treble hooks. I'm really excited about this. I'm really, really excited about this bait. Let's listen to that rattle for a second. It's got kind of like it's not a heavy single knocker, but it's kind of like a heavy single knocker. There's like a little bit extra in there. But this is going to be a great bait. This is probably going to get tied on before I go out. Okay, so everything else in here is either soft, wire, or jig. So let's okay, yeah, so this is also fairly new. 6th Sense put these on their website probably 3 months ago, and it's been sitting in my cart that long for me to actually just buy it. So every time 6th Sense comes out with a new bait, there's like a 50 or 60% chance that you're going to get it in your 6-sack if you're a 6-sack subscriber. And because that's what, like, the F4 Finesse, when this came out, we got it the next month in an exclusive color, and it's phenomenal. So I waited a while, kind of hoping that we were going to get the spinnerbait, but we didn't, so I finally just bought it. Oh, this guy here, this should be 3/8. Yep. 3/8 ounce, hand-tied skirt, screw lock bait keeper, treated stainless wire for maximum vibration, premium blades, and swivel. And the color on this is Shad Pro. So let's get a good look at this. This nice white skirt. It's got bits of silver in it. Complete that shad profile. Kind of some ghosty bits in here too. It's got a really nice keeper between the double willow blades up here. These blades are great. The finish on them is pretty awesome. Wipe it off a little bit so it's, there we go. Extra shiny. Okay. Ball bearing swivel. This is an interesting, really nice thing. So at the end of spinner baits, there's that loop, and I've noticed every once in a while, like other things or like my line will get caught inside that. So they just took a little piece of shrink wrap and threw it right over the end. That's really thoughtful. I really appreciate that. This is kind of a lighter wire, too. So there's a little bit more give in it, which is nice because it keeps it gentle and light. Now let's take a look at that bait keeper. It says it's a screw lock. Sure enough, it's a screw lock. So what you'll do with your bait, you're gonna put it on like you normally would, push it through, and then when you get down here, you're just gonna twist it straight down there. And once it's on that screw lock, it is going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. If it comes off that screw lock, it's destroyed, and you need to replace it anyway. So that's really really awesome. And the paint, even on the head of the weight, completes that shad look. It's really really nice with that nice big eye looking down. I like it. I'm really happy with this because I've had this sitting in my cart for so long. I wanted to get the straight white one too, but I have a whole pile of white spinner baits, and I did not need another just white one, so I went with the shad. Alright, so next up here, yeah, this should be, yep, here we go. So this is the Axel swinging jig. This thing's really really cool. So it's a swim jig. Okay, I like swim jigs because it's a spinner without spinners. But this one is special. Oh, let's see if I can get it out. Get this rubber band off here. And of course, I probably don't have to say what color this is right now, but I'll go ahead and tell you anyway. It's that 4K bluegill. It really is. 4K bluegill in a skirt. Kind of rough this up a little bit here. Bam. Look at that. See? Even the painted head. 4K bluegill. Okay, so what makes the Axel swinging jig really, really cool is it's got this screw lock up here in the front. Okay? There's a screw lock. And then you've got your main hook here. Swings back and forth, does all the fun, cool things, okay? But, you know what? Here, I'll just grab one of these soft plastics out to show you guys. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So I got the 4.5-inch whale. Because that's not slightly overkill at all. And baby sunfish. Oh, baby bluegill. And I wasn't sure if I should get the 4.5 or if I should have just gotten the 4 or the 3.8. I believe they make it at 3.8. But I think this is going to work out even better. So you just take it. You get your screw lock here. Okay. Get the skirt out of the screw lock. See, I could edit all this out, but that wouldn't be fun, would it? Okay, so you got your screw lock. You just take your bait and you just start pushing it on that screw and turn. Keep turning. You want to keep it as close to straight as you can, but if you can't get it perfectly straight, that's fine too, really. Just take it all the way down. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to see it, but you want to take it down to that eye loop where it just starts to get on the swinging part, because you still want the main part of the bait to swing. Okay? So then you're going to take it just like you would any other jig. Mark your spot, or I guess if you were going to Texas rig it, take your spot, mark where you want to be, and then go straight up through the back, just like that. And then you can just skin hook that. And bam! Look at that. That color combination actually came out way better looking than I thought it was going to. That really did. Wow. That's phenomenal. And the 4.5 really isn't too big. It's kind of big. Realistically, I should have probably went with like a 4 or a 3.8. But this is pretty sweet. I really, really like this. I like that a lot. I mean, it's big, but it'll work. And I can throw this in the weeds all day because it's weedless. And when it hooks up, it's swinging, it's free floating, all those good things. That's really awesome, actually. Okay, so everything else back in here is soft baits. So we'll go ahead and go through that other package of the 4.5-inch whales. So these are bait juice. This is a pretty cool color. I have this in a couple other soft plastics. It seems pretty simple, but it also works really well. It's nothing too fancy. So it's just kind of like a lighter green pearl with a pearl belly. And of course the whale's got the fins there on the sides. It's got that split belly, so you have all the room in the world. The action on these is pretty awesome. You can even just throw these on a regular swim jig head. It doesn't have to be skirted, anything like that. Or you could line through it. I should probably do a video on how I line through these, because I just take a coffee stirrer, I shove it down the bait till it comes out here, run my line through it, tie on a treble hook, and tuck that treble right in the back here, at the back of that slot that's in the bottom of the bait, and it's good to go. Or if I'm fishing a little bit heavier cover, I'll just take that straw and I'll shove it up the back so it comes out right about there, about just past halfway. Throw it weightless, or you could throw a little like sliding weight on it. Works great. But yeah, that's bait juice. It's a really good subtle. It's a good subtle color. I really like it. On days that I'm not killing them on this bluegill 4K, which by the way I really like the bluegill 4K. It seems to work. Now, the last three baits that I have here, they're all the same, but they're all different colors. 4K bluegill and the juggle. And then I also got green pumpkin shad and, wow, they're all backwards, green pumpkin. So obviously I got green pumpkin because it's green pumpkin and green pumpkin catches fish. I'm going to go ahead and take this out and show you what green pumpkin looks like. So it's green with a little hit of orange in there. The juggle, it's a very simple shaped bait. There's ribbing on the side here, and then it's got this very active tail, okay, with a little ball on it. So when you're flipping it through the water, it does pick up action, which is pretty great. So that's the green pumpkin. Throw that up there. Reach down here and grab this one. This was the green pumpkin shad. So this is a little bit more transparent. It's still a darker green color on the back, but the belly is transparent, which is cool. Same idea. A little ball on the tail for action, and just ribs up front. Nothing like too crazy. Where it gets crazy is when it gets in the water. So let's throw that fella back in there like that. And we'll grab that 4K bluegill, because I picked it up in a juggle for whatever reason. I was a little 4K bluegill happy. Okay, so it's pretty close. So you've got your greenish pumpkin back, and then that transparent orange belly. It doesn't look orange on the camera, I know, but it's orange. Just just kind of trust me on that. So this thing's pretty cool. Now, I picked up the juggle for a couple reasons. One, it makes a really good, like, subtle trailer if you're fishing something like maybe a willow vibe, or if you're fishing like a 1/4 ounce spinnerbait. It works fantastic. Okay. The other thing that I picked it up for was for just drop shot it. Just hook it right through the nose. Bam, like that. Drop shot. Okay. Just like that, and it'll float, it'll chill, it'll do its thing. Its little tail will get going. It'll be like, here, fishy, fishy, come eat me. Okay. Picked them up for that. You can also fish these weightless. Kind of a pain to throw unless you're on super light tackle. Definitely spinning gear. But the biggest thing that I got this for, so I picked these up. I'm going to do a separate video about these because this is at the end. Most people probably, unfortunately, won't watch this far, so they won't see this, which is kind of lame. Is Core Tackle. So this is, I can't remember if Matt Steffen owns this company or if he just is a huge part of it. Anyway, so they call this the Hover Rig. So this is an actual jig made just for hover rigging. So with a hover rig, before you just take a jig head hook, just one that you would use for casts, so 90-degree bend, and then hook, okay? And then you'd stick a nail weight in the end. So what they did was they just kind of, they just made that just much simpler, and they made it weaveless. This right here is the 3/0, or it's 3/16 ounce 1/0 hook. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your idea where you want this to be, and you want it to be about 1/3 of the way back. So on the juggle, there's a small little, it's kind of like a little divot on the head of it. So you want to put the head of this, or your hook point, right at the back of that divot. I found is kind of just the sweet spot. Move this weed guard over, and I'll be the first to admit, rigging up this rig isn't the most fun thing in the world. Well, for me at least. I haven't done it enough times to have really perfected the art of getting this to work. Well, not getting it to work, but rigging it properly. Because I always have a problem with this part, and I'm always afraid that I'm going to rip the bait. But lucky for me, these plastics are pretty tough, and you can pull on them quite a bit. I'm just going to pull that up. I'm just going to pull that up. Listen to me. Oh, I didn't do a very good job on here. This is what we can do. We can just rip that up just a little bit, maybe. Yeah, I kind of screwed the pooch on this one a little bit. Okay, so I didn't do it perfect. I waited too long to pull my hook up. I overcompensated for it at the end there. Yeah, I didn't do a good job. Anyway, so this is the idea of what it's supposed to look like. Get your hook. You got your line. So when you cast this out, ideally, most people that fish this rig are fishing it with live scope, they're going to throw it out in front of them and they're going to watch the fish react, because you can see this on scope, okay? But come on, I'm still messing with it. Yeah, that's gonna fish like poo. Anyway, so but what I do with it is if I have a spot and I know, like, 90% sure that there's gonna be a fish there, like it's like a bunch of trees or maybe like a dock, or I can visually see the fish, I'll throw this past them, and this has enough of a slow sink, and then you just kind of yo-yo it, and then the little whippy tail back here, it just kind of does its job and just. Um, you just got to be gentle with it, because this little ball tail doesn't have. It's got a lot of action, but it also doesn't have a lot of action. And if you pull the rig and you don't have it all in here perfectly right, it will act a little dumb in the water, and it'll just kind of go like that, which is unnatural, just moving like that. So you just kind of want to fish it as slow as you can, but you don't really want it to drag across the bottom. But yeah, so that's the hover juggle. That is really, really awesome. If you watch any Milliken videos, you already know about this, because he's been killing them all winter long on that. But this is just my most recent shipment. This is kind of a lot of new stuff going on here. A lot of things I'm super excited about, and more of those colors that I really, really love. Alright, guys. This is going to be it for the video. So, take care. Stay safe out there. The water is still pretty chilly, even though our temps are coming up, and our fish, they're moving up too. And always, FAFO. Fish around and find out. Alright, guys. Take care. See ya.